Russia's invasion of Ukraine has entered another difficult stage, with Vladimir Putin continuing to demand terms that would reduce Ukraine to a dependent state. His conditions, including the withdrawal of Ukrainian forces from their own territory in the eastern Donbass, are unacceptable for Kyiv and incompatible with the principles of sovereignty and independence. As long as the Kremlin clings to these maximalist goals, peace will remain distant. The United States and its allies face the challenge of applying pressure on Moscow without destabilizing the global economy. Energy exports remain Russia's lifeline, providing the revenue that sustains its war machine. Cutting this stream is therefore critical, but it must be done with precision. One approach under discussion involves strengthening sanctions on Russian oil. By threatening severe financial penalties on companies and banks that purchase Russian crude outside established limits, Washington could significantly curtail Moscow's access to revenue. Such measures would target major buyers like India and China, both of which have ignored earlier restrictions. Yet if forced to choose between Russian oil and continued access to global financial systems, most companies would comply with the sanctions. Another mechanism already in place is the international price cap system, designed to limit the price of Russian oil exports while keeping supplies available for global markets. While initially set too high to be effective, this ceiling could be tightened further, approaching Russia's actual production costs. Pairing this with a crackdown on the so-called shadow fleet of tankers would reduce Moscow's ability to evade restrictions. These steps would not eliminate Russia's resources overnight, but they would steadily erode its capacity to finance the war. More importantly, they would strengthen the negotiating position of the West, ensuring that any talks take place on terms that uphold Ukraine's sovereignty rather than surrender it. Yet the challenge extends beyond Russia. China's role adds a far more complex dimension. Publicly, Beijing presents itself as a potential mediator, offering vague proposals for peace. Privately, however, China continues to expand its purchases of discounted Russian oil, undermining international efforts to cut Moscow's revenue. This duplicity reveals a troubling reality. While speaking of stability, China actively enables instability when it suits its own strategic interests. For Europe, the United Kingdom, Australia, and the United States, this dynamic poses a significant threat. Russia's aggression is immediate and visible, but China's strategy of calculated deception may prove even more dangerous in the long run. By quietly supporting Moscow, Beijing is not only prolonging the war in Ukraine but also testing the resolve of democratic nations to defend international rules. The stakes could not be higher. Confronting Russia's aggression requires coordinated economic and diplomatic action, but ensuring long-term peace also means recognizing and countering China's role in sustaining instability. Both powers seek to challenge the existing order, and both must face clear consequences for doing so. Only through unity and determination can the international community safeguard peace, sovereignty, and the principles that underpin global stability.